Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Friday, the 14th of March 2025. So a lot going on yesterday, so let's get to it. US stocks extended losses amid tariff tensions after Trump threatened 200% tariff on alcohol from within the EU in response to the 50% EU tariff on US whiskey. So, I mean, it's tit for tat now, isn't it? I mean, this is just insane. Stocks rout continues as Trump tariff threats to hit sentiment. Well, I think that's already happened. Trump threatens 200% tariff on EU alcohol. Soft PPI yesterday as well, and revisions. Jobless claims beneath forecasts, so that means that the economy is still strong. And Putin supports ceasefire in principle. That's not over by a long shot either, unfortunately. That I don't think personally is going to hold or whatsoever, and I'll explain why in a minute. Gold futures top 3,000 for the first time ever. That's the futures, not the spot, so don't be drawn into that one. It's the spot price that's going to be the interesting one there. All the gold I could eat, whatever that subhead means. And again, gold, consolidate, breakout, repeat, next surge imminent. Well, let's see. $3,000 is a major milestone for this market. And when they hit those levels, that I've mentioned several times in the Market Alert, they tend to give the market a good hammering back down. Particularly that central banks are buying as much gold as they can at the moment. So if they can get it cheaper, they will do so. Despite the fact that it's been allowed to run at the moment, watch out. Economic news for today. GDP month on month for the UK, and then we've got prelim consumer sentiment and inflation expectations as well. But let's get on with the markets and have a look at this continuing route and kick off with the Dow. And in the Dow, we see prices lower again, wouldn't say more yesterday, but the volumes are lower and there's certainly a drop off in volume. So maybe this is just the last remaining sort of vestiges of the recent down move that we've seen there. And we're going to find some sort of support, and the market's going to consolidate and trade in a sideways range there. 30-minute charts, again, it's the cash market, isn't it? As soon as that opens, the market's down, but has managed to pull back, but it's got the DP, the 50 EMA, and it's got to stay above the close there, and the 20 EMA, so it needs to find some support at these levels. And in the German DAX, well, it hasn't really been impacted at all, has it? It's still holding really well sideways there. If you look at the 30-minute of this market, we screamed up yesterday after a bit of a sell-off to start with, and then all the way back down, and then it was very choppy in the afternoon. Overnight, the market's moved higher. But is that in response to this that's been released? Let's just have a look. So I noticed this morning, that Volkswagen open to building military equipment for German army. Germany, biggest weapons contractor, could literally be moving onto Volkswagen turf. So it looks like they're switching cars to tanks, which is slightly alarming to say the least. But we'll just have to wait and see there. But interesting that the reopening factories that they closed last year due to drop off in car sales, etc. So yeah, quite worrying there. But there's the news for the German DAX, and it may be one of the reasons why this going to create 850 billion under von der Leyen, as I call her, to build the biggest EU army on record by, say, raising 850 billion, and it seems like the contract's already rolling. I mean, war's good money. This is why the ceasefire, I don't think it's going to hold. I think this is just a temporary situation, which it would be such a shame. But it's not about life. It's about war. It's about money. It's about power. Let's have a look at the S&P. And in the S&P 500, again, we've got a big decline down here, big pullback at the moment. Again, the volume's starting to drop off as well. So maybe there's a bit of consolidation coming for this market too. And there in the futures and derivatives, the market moving higher, and then it's selling off, and then pulling back, and then changing direction there as well. But at the moment, the market just holding at the close and psychological level there. Again, in the UK, not really a massive decline in this market either. Still holding despite what Starmer's doing with farmers removing subsidies, compulsory purchase of land that's been now brought in. and removal of NHS England yesterday with thousands, literally thousands of jobs to go. Who'd ever have thought of a social government in this country? But there you go. So the FT 100 yesterday, up and down, but then he's not a socialist, is he? He's a WEFA. He's a World Economic Forum stooge, and doing Klaus's bidding for him. But yesterday you can see a choppy session there for the FT 100. And the US dollar starting to move off that support that we drew in a couple of days ago. What's interesting as well is the fact that gold's headed up towards 3,000 in the futures, and the US dollar is also moving back to the upside. Probably talk of war and these ridiculous 200% tariffs on European alcohol. I mean, that's just insane, but that's another story. The whole thing's just insane, to be honest with you. So yeah, you can see there moving up once more, and the metals moving up as well. So let's have a look at those. Well, this is a surprise, certainly for me. You can see there that we broke through the 33,368, and we're looking quite good at the moment. But don't forget, it's SmackDown Friday. So even though the market's up at the moment, we can soon reverse this on SmackDown Friday, especially if they start to sell gold heavily and return back to where we were yesterday. But at the moment, it's trying to move higher. This is the weekly chart. We want to get through this high up here. That's what we need to get through, 34.85. I'm not going to believe anything I see as far as silver moving to the upside and holding until we get through $50, the all-time high from 1979 and 2011. This is just, I've been here so many times before. You think you're making progress, and then they just slam it down. This was allowed to move up, they slammed it back down. So again, I'm optimistic, or cautiously optimistic. But let's see what happens today. Meanwhile, in gold, already starting to move the price down overnight, and we're up at 2,993. We got $7 to get to the 3,000. We could do that today and then have a slam, but at the moment you can see they're already pulling back on the prices. Just found a bit of support there, but it's got to go through the 3,000 and hold. If it doesn't hold, then you are going to get a serious sell-off in the gold, or pullback, I should say, back down towards this sort of level if they get the opportunity to force prices back to this level. So in the gold-silver ratio, this also not moving down as much as I would have hoped, but we've got to take out the level here, which is 87.38. That's what needs to be taken out. If that's not taken out, then we can soon do this again and go back up to the 92 area. So again, keep an eye on this gold-silver ratio as well. Right, let's have a look at Thursday's trades in the DAX 2-minute. Market moving up in the pre-market, then it was slammed back down. Market was sideways to begin with, as you can see they're very sideways, and it was a 50 point sideways range as well. They don't normally get that in the DAX. The market traded down to, guess where? The low. We see the volume coming in. Once you get to the low, they try and bring the market back, and that's what they did. It pulled back, and then we had along there, then we had a quick short, and then the market continued to move back up, as you can see there, and then pulling back through the mid-morning with profits being taken back towards the low, before then moving back to the upside and trying to break the 200 MA, which it did, but then started to pull back there, and then sideways for the start of the Dow and S&P session there, before moving lower, back down to the low. What happens when we get to the low? They bring the market off the low once more. They want the market going through the high, not going through the low. And then after it's brought back to the 200 MA, finds a bit of resistance, and then the market just trading back up and down, following the Dow into the late afternoon there, and then into the evening as well, which you can see there. But what's the market doing overnight? Let's have a quick look before we conclude. And at the moment it's sideways to lower there, drifting down towards the DP and close, If we get a bit of a sell-off down to this level, then expect some support there. We'll be doing their best to get the market back up to here, and given that Volkswagen have announced a massive investment in the war machine, like I say, which is alarming to me, but there you go. Expect this market to still hold like it's done there during the sell-off in the US. The German DAX is very, very, very strong at this time. Right, okay, that's it for this one and for this week. So have a great weekend. The clocks remain as they are. We don't move us forward until the 30th, so the US markets remain 1:30 open at the moment. That's it for this one. Like I say, have a great weekend, and as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next.